Hi everyone, I just wanted to take a quick moment to introduce to you CustomsManager.Info, a new webpage dedicated to customs and global trade intelligence. And I wanted to come on and explain a little bit why we're doing this and what are the benefits of using CustomsManager.Info. Look, customs is complicated. Global trade is complicated, whether it's export controls, whether it's free trade agreements, whether it's customs. And laws, regulations, relating to customs, to global trade, to import, to export, change all the time. So how do you keep up? Well, there are different ways that a customs professional, an import and export manager, a broker, a lawyer, a consultant, an advisor to companies, or even CEOs, business managers can keep up. So first, of course, there's the free stuff. The free stuff available on government websites for a start. Well, that's an authoritative source for sure. Then, of course, there is the law notifications on these government websites. So every day, for example, in the European Union, we've got the OJ, the official journal, publishes every day laws and regulations pertinent to the EU, of which some have to do with customs and some directly concern customs and global trade, import and export. Then, of course, you've got government websites that are free, that deliver guidance. So the UK is, for example, really good at issuing guidance in relation to all sorts of things, including customs and global trade. You can find a lot of stuff for free and for no costs at all. And then, of course, there are people like me, consultants, advisors, experts, interested people, other customs managers, other import, export geeks like me that are publishing stuff all over the place, especially on social media. So there's a lot of great stuff that you can find there. You can find guides, you can find opinion pieces, you can find ideas, you can find questions, surveys. And then you add to that the Twitters, the Facebooks, the LinkedIns, the Instas, and then you get a wide array in various languages of customs and global trade updates that are scattered all over the place. Some are authoritative, so meaning some are from the source, from the government source, and therefore deemed reliable. Others are opinions. Others yet are wrong or have a different purpose. For example, a marketing purpose. So I would publish a blog that would be incomplete, or it would just tease information for you to contact me. Customs managers, global trade professionals, they have a job to do in everyday business. They have to import, export, ensure compliance, and ensure optimal duty savings. So there is very little time in a day to screen for legislation, changes that affect your business. So the challenge is, number one, where is the information? Number two, what is the relevant information for my business? Three, what does this information say? And four, how does it matter to me? And five, what do I need to do now? If you take all of this together, what do you get? You get a wide range of sources, some of which are good, some of which are not good. You get a wide range of changes every week. You get the need to sit down and research, depending on the jurisdiction that you're responsible for, what changed. Then you need to filter this according to what matters to your business. And then once you understood what you have to actually look at, and you then found it, you then have to read it and understand what you need to do. If you do this right, if you do this with the goal to enhance your compliance, if you do this with the goal to optimize your cost savings, And if you are responsible, for example, for 1, 2, or 3 jurisdictions, so for example, take the UK alone, last week, so many changes to customs. Yeah, everybody can get notified with newsletters. Everybody can look at LinkedIn. But then do you really have the time to look through all of the changes to make sure you're not missing anything? So rather than you doing that and spending 5, 6, 7 hours every week trying not to miss anything, why not pool it? Why not put it on one website? Why not have a one-stop shop dedicated to intelligence? So what do I mean by that? I do not mean news that are bite-sized and that you can read and then you think, well, what did I just learn? Right? I'm not talking about press notifications about politics or he said this to this person. No. I'm talking about the stuff that is operational, the stuff that is important, the stuff that actually has an impact on businesses and companies. I am talking about import and export processes and rules pertaining to that. So this can get quite geeky because in customs and global trade, we're geeky people. So we will be talking about things like classification. We'll be talking about things like valuation. We'll be talking about things like origin, about export controls, about free trade agreements, about Northern Ireland Protocol, the Windsor Framework, because all of this has detail that you need. This is why it's not a newsletter. This is why this is not a simple update. This requires brain and thinking. So what I do every week is I look at all of these sources. I look at social, I look at official, I look at whatever I can see, whatever pops into my inbox, whatever I research. I look at CBP in the US, I look at DG Trade, I look at DG TaxSud, I look at COF.uk, I look at legislation.co.uk, and I look at all the other jurisdictions that you want me to look at. And then I summarize all of this in one update, in one blog entry, which comes out once a week, probably Mondays at around 6 in the morning UK time. That should cover the UK, the EU, and of course, when the US wakes up, also the US. And there, in one page, you've got it all. 16 hours of research into one page. So all you have to do with your morning coffee is now spend about 10 minutes to read through this. And you can very quickly, by reading the headlines and the quick description, decide whether this is something for you. And you go through the list. And when you see something that interests you or that you're not sure about, you want to figure out, then all you got to do is click on it. So you go to www.CustomsManager.Info. And then on all updates, you can find all the things that I've published. And then there's always one edition called the Customs Manager. And that Customs Manager is then your consolidated report of everything that changed. And then all you need to do is click on it and you get the updates. Now, as you know, doing this work is very time intensive. It also takes a lot of brain power. And therefore, we do charge for this service. There is a free version. You can receive the highlights for free. And the reason we do this for free is because we want to empower everyone, small, medium, or large, micro or biggest company. Money should not be a reason as to why you can't comply and you can't optimize your cost savings. So for those companies that can't pay, for those that are struggling to meet ends meet, for those that still want to trade importing, exporting, we offer this service for free. You just sign up and you get notified of new information every week. And we offer free blog entries, allowing you to research topics that we're thinking about, that we're talking about, that customs professionals discuss for no charge at all. Contribution to compliance and to cost savings across your jurisdiction. to improve competitiveness, to improve understanding, to improve compliance with laws. But for those that are able to contribute, we ask for a modest fee, a very modest fee, to allow for independent customs content provision. So basically, we ask you to contribute to the cost of running the service. We think it has a high added value, and it is different from what's freely available, because can you really trust what you read when something is completely free? There are probably ulterior motives to it. So you might want to see all this with a bit of skepticism. And also on these free in the government websites, don't forget that this is written by the government with a certain policy in mind. We are independent. We do not do policy of the government of the day. We do this from the perspective of a customs and global trade professional sitting in a business, probably not supported by a lot of people, because who knows customs, and wanting some help, wanting some support. So this is the reason why we do this, because we've seen, me working in industry for so many years, that people need intelligence, trade intelligence and customs intelligence, but they want it without having to spend hours researching it. So we give it to you on a dedicated website, and we call it www.CustomsManager.Info. This is where we put all this stuff. We give you categories. So all you need to do is then go to that website, click on all updates, find the category that is useful for you. For example, customs, or customs classification, or export controls, or sanctions, or SPS controls. And then this is your category for the time, right? And every time there's something interesting happening to this category, we'll post it there. So if you bookmark it, you can always check it. You'll always be notified through the Customs Manager collection of articles every week of what changed collectively. And that way you can really contribute to being up to date, investing a minimum of time, and knowing what's changed. And we hope that by this, we can make a meaningful contribution to your compliance and save customs duty. It's called CustomsManager.Info. It is part of our offering. We offer consultancy, training, advisory, customs filing as a brokerage, and, as I've mentioned, trade intelligence. I hope this was useful. Why don't you go and check out www.CustomsManager.Info, a new website dedicated to customs and global trade compliance, and of course, via the means of intelligence. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video.